It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. These words from Machiavelli's The Prince echo through the corridors of power, challenging the conventional wisdom that kindness is the highest virtue. But what if the very act of mercy, the impulse to show compassion, becomes your undoing? What if your kindness is the weapon your enemies use to dismantle you? Consider Cesare Borgia, a man whose name is synonymous with ruthless statecraft. In the Romagna region, Borgia employed cruelty not for its own sake, but as a means to restore order and eliminate rebellion. His actions were calculated, not capricious. Machiavelli admired Borgia's ability to use cruelty strategically, noting that if a prince is too compassionate and does not adequately punish disloyal subjects, he creates an atmosphere of disorder. In this light, mercy becomes a double-edged sword, intended to heal, yet capable of inflicting deeper wounds if wielded without foresight. In the modern world, this lesson remains pertinent. Leaders who prioritize kindness above all else often find themselves ensnared by their own goodwill. They may overlook the ambitions of those around them, assuming that benevolence will be reciprocated. However, in a landscape where power dynamics shift unpredictably, such assumptions can be perilous. The failure to recognize the darker motives of others can lead to exploitation and betrayal. Thus, every act of mercy must be weighed against its potential consequences. In the game of power, you are either the hunter or the hunted. To navigate this terrain effectively, you must understand that kindness, when applied indiscriminately, can be a trap. It is not enough to act out of goodwill, one must also act with awareness and strategy. Remember this: mercy without strategy is a liability. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle. This insight from Sun Tzu underscores a fundamental truth: the most formidable warriors are those who first conquer themselves. Your mind is your kingdom, and only by mastering it can you hope to command the world around you. Machiavelli in The Prince emphasizes the importance of internal discipline and foresight. He argues that a ruler must be both lion and fox, courageous and cunning, able to navigate the complexities of human nature and fortune. This duality begins within. Your thoughts are the architects of your destiny. Consider the story of Cesare Borgia, a man who understood the power of perception and control. He crafted his image meticulously, presenting himself as both merciful and ruthless, depending on what the situation demanded. His ability to adapt and maintain control over his emotions and actions made him a formidable force. This is the essence of ruling your inner kingdom, the capacity to govern your impulses and decisions with strategic intent. In the modern world, this principle is no less relevant. Leaders and individuals alike must navigate a landscape filled with distractions, manipulations, and challenges. Those who succeed are not necessarily the most talented, but those who can maintain clarity and purpose amidst chaos. Your mind must be a fortress, impervious to the storms of external circumstances. To achieve this, you must first recognize the enemies within: doubt, fear, and guilt. These are the insurgents that undermine your authority and clarity. They masquerade as protectors, but in reality, they are saboteurs of your potential. Just as a ruler must deal decisively with internal threats to maintain sovereignty, so too must you confront and neutralize these internal adversaries. Your thoughts are the generals of your actions. Each decision is a battle, each plan a campaign. To be effective, you must train your mind as a warrior trains his body. This means cultivating discipline, foresight, and adaptability. It means understanding that every thought, every impulse is a soldier in your army. Remember, the mind is not a passive observer, but an active participant in your journey. It can be your greatest ally or your most formidable adversary. The choice is yours. Rule your mind or it will rule you. It is not titles that make a prince powerful, but the command he asserts at the first light of day. Every morning is a battlefield, and how you rise determines whether you survive or fall. The sun has not yet claimed the sky, and already wars are being fought in offices, in streets, in mines. Your dawn is the first strike, your initial deployment against the creeping chaos of the world. If you enter it unarmed, you are already defeated before the first challenge arrives. Discipline is your armor. The way you move in the first hour dictates the tempo of the day. Rituals, simple, unyielding, unbroken, are shields against the unpredictable. When you make your bed with precision, when your mind trains on purpose before the world demands it, you are donning armor that no distraction can pierce. In modern life, the chaotic assault comes from notifications, obligations, and people testing your boundaries. Those who bend to the day, reacting instead of acting, are already losing. Stand firm. Begin with intention. Let your first moves echo with the precision of a general marshalling his troops. Strike at your weaknesses before the world does. The great strategists, from Julius Caesar to Napoleon, understood that preemptive action is the essence of survival. Bismarck, in his campaigns, often attacked the vulnerabilities of his adversaries before they had time to consolidate. Today, your weaknesses are procrastination, hesitation, fear, and distraction. They wait silently, like enemy saboteurs, ready to seize control if you give them the chance. Hunt them down in the quiet hours. Confront what is yours to master while the rest of the world sleeps. Do not wait for a crisis to expose your fragility. Make the first move. Strike decisively. Conquer the day before it starts. Visualization is your battlefield rehearsal. Imagine every conflict you might face, every decision you must execute, every human or circumstance that could challenge your will. In this mental war game, you deploy troops, position your defenses, and rehearse your victories. Hypothetically, the mind is a war room where the battles are won or lost before they are ever fought. Picture yourself moving through the day like a predator stalking its prey, deliberate, calculated, unshakable. By the time the sun fully rises, you have already secured the high ground, claimed the territory, and set the terms of engagement. The cost of failure is immediate and relentless. Those who fail to seize the dawn allow the day to seize them. Distraction becomes an ambush, hesitation a snare, and opportunity flees while you linger in indecision. But the reward for mastery is equally absolute: control, momentum, and a day that bows to your command. Every small victory in the morning compounds. Every act of discipline compounds till you move through the world as a general moves through a conquered land. Confident, commanding, untouchable. Remember this as you rise tomorrow, as you stand before the day like a soldier facing a storm. Armor your rituals, strike your weaknesses, and rehearse your victory. Let your dawn be a declaration that you will not be caught unprepared. The battlefield is yours before the first enemy appears. Win the dawn or be lost to the day. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command silence as much as speech. Stillness is not weakness. It is the blade hidden in shadow, the predator crouched beneath the brush, unseen and unstoppable. Every move you make when you act without preparation is a disclosure of your strategy. The world rewards the impatient with failure. Those who master stillness, who wait and observe, turn quiet into a weapon sharper than any sword. Patience is your first assault. The great generals, from Hannibal to Gustavus Adolphus, understood that the right strike at the right moment decides the battle. Acting too soon is like charging an enemy before your forces are ready. It invites disaster. Control your impulses. Wait for the moment when hesitation in others gives you the advantage. Let the world reveal its patterns while you fortify your position. Your restraint is not inaction. It is preparation, positioning, the quiet accumulation of power before release. Observation is intelligence. A predator does not announce itself with noise. It watches, calculating every move, reading the intentions of its prey. In modern life, the same principle applies. Leaders who react immediately without understanding the hidden currents of ambition, envy, and manipulation fall into traps crafted by those who plan in silence. Quiet observation allows you to see threats before they appear, to detect weakness in others while concealing your own. The world is full of reckless actors, loud and exposed. Your calm eyes see them before they even notice you. Mental ambush is the final strike. Once you have observed, once the moment is right, your action becomes decisive and unavoidable. Calm is deceptive. It lures the arrogant and impulsive into overextending themselves. Hypothetically, imagine the still pond that conceals the snapping crocodile beneath. The reckless leap in, thinking the water is harmless. Your timing turns your serenity into devastation. Every calculated move from your position of quiet mastery overwhelms the unprepared, giving you victory without unnecessary risk. The cost of failing to master stillness is immediate. Reactivity exposes you. Rashness drains your energy and reveals your strategy to those who would exploit it. But the reward for those who wield patience and observation is absolute control. You dictate the rhythm of encounters, the pace of conflict, the moment of engagement. Your enemies strike at shadows, while you hold the high ground, unseen and untouchable. Stand firm. Wait. Watch. Let the storm rage while you sharpen your mind and position your pieces. Turn every moment of silence into a blade, every pause into power. Strike not in haste, but with certainty, and watch the world yield before your calculated will. Silence is a sword. Wield it without mercy. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Power does not tolerate hesitation. Weakness invites predators, and mercy without strategy is the luxury of the defeated. Survival demands ruthlessness, not as cruelty, but as a weapon honed for dominance. Every day, the battlefield tests you, your alliances, your habits, your ideas. Anything that slows your advance, anything that dilutes your power, must be severed without hesitation. Cut the dead weight. History is filled with rulers who faltered because they clung to loyalty over logic. Alexander the Great dismissed generals who failed to match his vision. Bismarck removed advisors whose indecision threatened the state. In your life, the same principle applies. Toxic relationships, unproductive routines, or limiting beliefs are insurgents in your kingdom. Identify them, serve them. Allow no hesitation to linger, no sentimentality to compromise your authority. Every unnecessary burden you carry weakens your position and signals vulnerability to those watching for weakness. The moral cost of inaction is immediate and ruthless. Modern life disguises chaos as opportunity, but indecision is surrender. Entrepreneurs, leaders, and creators who fail to act decisively see competitors exploit their hesitation. Markets move, alliances shift, and power is claimed by those who strike first. If you hesitate, the world does not wait for your conscience to align with your ambition. Chaos will expand in the gaps you leave behind, consuming what could have been yours. Inaction is not neutral. It is a loss that compounds, slowly eroding the throne you hope to hold. Calculated ferocity is the final refinement of ruthlessness. Precision matters. You do not lash out blindly. You destroy only what threatens your sovereignty. Hypothetically, a predator does not kill indiscriminately. It targets the weak, the ill-positioned, the threats to its survival. Your ruthlessness is the same. Every decisive move must be measured, every strike strategic, every enemy evaluated for the real danger it poses. Dominate where necessary, preserve where advantageous. Let your ferocity be feared, not wasted, and your throne unchallenged. The cost of softening your edges is immediate. Hesitation becomes exposure, kindness becomes weakness, and your empire begins to crumble from within. The reward of mastery is absolute. Clarity, authority, and a world that respects your decisiveness. Stand unyielding, remove what cannot serve you, strike where necessary. Let every act of ruthlessness be surgical, not savage, and watch your power expand unchecked. No compromise, no mercy, rule without regret. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality, because they are captivated by the eye and the ear. Power is a mask, and mastery lies in wearing it without revealing the seams. To lead is not merely to act. It is to project an image so formidable, so controlled, that others cannot distinguish your vulnerabilities from your strengths. Authority is perception forged into armor, and those who fail to mask themselves are exposed to every challenge before they even raise their sword. The power of mystery is your first weapon. History is littered with rulers who thrived not because they were invincible, but because they were unknowable. Caesar crossed the Rubicon with calculated ambiguity, leaving his opponents uncertain of his intentions, fearful of the unknown consequences. By concealing strategy, you magnify influence. Do not reveal your plans before the time is right. Let others guess, hesitate, and stumble while you maneuver unseen. Mystery creates leverage. Ambiguity is a battlefield where hesitation becomes your ally. Emotional camouflage is the second layer of armor. Modern life bombards every interaction with signals, cues, and unspoken expectations. Leaders, negotiators, and influencers know that controlling what others perceive is as important as controlling reality itself. When you conceal irritation, doubt, or fear behind a composed exterior, you manipulate perception. People respond to the mask they see, not the mind hidden beneath it. Calm when provoked, deliberate when pressured, unreadable in moments of crisis. These are not deceit. They are calculated acts of survival and dominance. Projection of strength is the final seal of command. Hypothetically, imagine a chess master who never shows frustration after losing a piece, or a predator that never betrays hunger before the strike. People obey what they fear or respect, not what they love blindly. Your presence, your gaze, your words, all tools to project power without revealing the fractures beneath. Every gesture, every decision is a signal. I am in control. Those around you take cues from the confidence you project, not the emotions you hide. Command is as much about influence as it is about action. The cost of revealing too much is immediate. Hesitation becomes vulnerability, empathy becomes manipulation, and trust can be weaponized against you. But the reward of mastery is absolute. Your authority is unquestioned, your decisions uncontested, your position unassailable. Stand armored in perception. Let your mind and your image move as one, influence before you act, and strike without the world ever anticipating the blow. Lead without revealing. Power hides behind the mask. He who conquers himself is the mightiest of all warriors. The battlefield is not only outside, it lies within, in the quiet corners of your mind where fear, doubt, and guilt wait like assassins in the shadows. The deadliest enemy is often unseen, whispering that you are not enough, that failure is inevitable, that hesitation is safer than action. If you do not neutralize these saboteurs, they will strike from within, dismantling your kingdom before the world even tests you. The first step is identifying self-sabotage. History is filled with leaders and generals who fell not to armies but to their own indecision. Napoleon, brilliant on the field, was often undone by moments of self-doubt and overconfidence colliding. Recognize the habits, the recurring thoughts, the mental scripts that undermine your mission. Every procrastination, every wavering decision, every fear of confrontation is an enemy lying in wait. Map them, name them, and understand their patterns. Awareness is your first weapon. Next comes decisive mental strikes. Discipline your internal dialogue as a warrior trains his blade. Modern psychology confirms that the inner critic, when unchecked, can derail even the most skilled, turning potential into paralysis. Speak to yourself as a commander would to his troops, firm, clear, and unyielding. Challenge doubts before they harden into limitations. Attack fear with knowledge. Cut through guilt with reason. Shape your mind into a weapon, honed and ready for every encounter, every challenge. Shadow mastery is the final, most potent skill. Hypothetically, imagine the assassin who does not merely fight in the light, but moves through darkness with control, using shadows to strike unseen. Your darker impulses, your anger, your primal drives, do not suppress them blindly. Understand them, embrace them, and channel them as tools rather than letting them control you. The internal saboteur thrives in denial. By mastering your shadow, you turn potential threats into allies, transforming the parts of yourself that could destroy into the very instruments of power and precision. The cost of ignoring your inner assassin is absolute. Hesitation becomes habit, fear becomes a cage, and your throne crumbles while you argue with yourself. The reward for mastery is total command over your mind. Every decision becomes deliberate, every action unstoppable, every step guided by clarity and strength. You move through the world, not at the mercy of your thoughts, but as a sovereign of them, wielding focus and discipline like a sharpened blade. Identify, strike, embrace. Hunt your saboteur before it hunts you. Let no doubt survive, no fear linger, no guilt gain purchase. Stand firm, silent, deadly within, and watch the external world bend to the will forged inside your mind. Silence your saboteur. Strike before it strikes you. The more difficulties one has to encounter, the greater is the glory in overcoming them. Strength is not born in comfort, it is forged in the furnace of struggle. Every challenge you face, every obstacle that threatens to bend your will, is a test of your capacity to rise, to endure, to dominate. The warrior who avoids pain starves the wolf within. The one who embraces conflict feeds it, sharpening instincts, resilience, and ferocity with every strike. Hunger is your first weapon. Ambition, desire, the relentless drive to rise above mediocrity, they are not weaknesses, they are fuel. Historical conquerors like Alexander, Hannibal, and Sun Tzu understood that deprivation and longing sharpen the mind and steel the body. The emptiness you feel in adversity is not a void, it is energy waiting to be harnessed. Feed it with focus, feed it with discipline, and let the gnawing hunger push you toward mastery. The wolf inside you grows only when you confront the fight, when you refuse to settle for easy victories. Trial by fire is the crucible of resilience. Modern life disguises struggle as inconvenience, conflict as nuisance, pain as failure. But every true leader, every master of strategy, knows that avoidance is surrender. Entrepreneurs who falter in crises, generals who hesitate in battles, creators who flee discomfort, they all share the same fate: stagnation. Face the trials head-on, confront the setbacks, endure the criticism, embrace the chaos. Each skirmish, each challenge hones your instincts, toughens your mind, and steels your resolve. Weakness retreats from struggle, the wolf thrives on it. Turning pain into a weapon is the ultimate transformation. Hypothetically, imagine a predator that absorbs every scar, every wound, every hardship as ammunition. Each moment of suffering becomes a tool for dominance, a source of insight, a sharpened edge in the battle for supremacy. Emotional blows, betrayal, failure, they are not chains to bind you, but blades to arm you. Convert anguish into action, frustration into strategy, and loss into lessons. Let the hardships fuel your ascent rather than bury you beneath them. The cost of avoiding struggle is stagnation, mediocrity, and a spirit dulled by comfort. The reward of feeding the wolf is unbreakable strength, honed instincts, and a mind forged in adversity. Hunger drives focus, trial builds resilience, and pain becomes the weapon that ensures nothing can stand against you. Stand firm in discomfort, chase the challenges others face. Embrace the fire that tempers you. Feed the wolf. Grow stronger with every struggle. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Life is a chessboard, and you are both the player and the piece. Every encounter, every conversation, every decision is a move in a grand game, where timing, positioning, and foresight determine whether you dominate or fall. The battlefield is not just external, it stretches across relationships, power dynamics, and unseen forces that shift like pawns in the shadows. Opponent analysis is your first command. Great generals and strategists, from Sun Tzu to Napoleon, never rushed into conflict without observing, studying, and calculating. Know the tendencies of those around you, identify weaknesses, predict patterns, anticipate reactions, just as a chess master studies the board, mapping threats and opportunities. You must analyze every interaction, every potential rival, every source of disruption. Knowledge becomes armor, foresight, a blade. Ignorance invites ambush, hesitation guarantees defeat. Sacrifice as strategy is the second principle. In chess, a pawn may fall so the queen can strike. Modern life mirrors this. A business risk today may cost time or reputation, but it positions you for greater dominance tomorrow. Relationships, projects, and investments are pieces on your board, some expendable, some vital. Understand which battles are worth fighting and which are tactical retreats. Do not cling to the illusion that every loss is failure. Sometimes yielding momentarily ensures ultimate victory. Calculated risk is the final lesson. Bold moves distinguish leaders from pawns, predators from prey. Hypothetically, envision a warrior who advances a critical piece, knowing the cost, yet seizing the moment when timing favors audacity. Paralysis by fear keeps pawns stagnant. Fortune favors the decisive. Risk is not recklessness. It is strategy, informed by observation, sharpened by preparation, and executed with confidence. Every calculated strike shapes the battlefield and shifts power toward you. The cost of ignoring strategy is invisibility, stagnation, and eventual capture by those who anticipate better, think faster, and act with precision. The reward for mastering the board is supremacy, control over outcomes, and the power to dictate the pace of every encounter. You move deliberately, strike with intent, and leave nothing to chance. Anticipate, sacrifice, risk, and claim your victories with purpose. Every move is a duel. Play to dominate. Men in all ages have more often succumbed to their own weaknesses than to the power of their enemies. Discipline is your battlefield, and your mind is the forge. Every day, every choice, every repeated act hammers your will into steel. Without ritual, chaos invades. Without structure, entropy wins. A warrior's strength is not born in comfort. It is forged in the fire of relentless repetition, in the grind of habits few endure. Daily discipline is your first weapon. History is full of leaders and generals who rose not because of talent alone, but because they mastered the mundane. Caesar's marches, Napoleon's early hours, the meticulous training of samurai routine sharpened their edge before battle even began. Your mornings, your decisions, your preparation are not trivial. They are preemptive strikes against disorder. Do not wait for the world to challenge you. Train as if the war has already started. Make every act a deliberate exercise in dominance. The price of strength is pain, and pain is your hammer. Cold showers, early rising, delayed gratification, these are not punishments, they are the shaping of iron. Modern warriors of business, athletics, and strategy understand this. Success favors the prepared, the hardened, the ones willing to endure discomfort while others flee. Each hardship accepted, each discomfort embraced, is another layer of armor. Weakness is excused today, but tomorrow weakness is exploited. Endurance grants an edge that brute strength cannot match. Hypothetically, a soldier may be smaller, a competitor less skilled, yet persistence and mental toughness allow him to outlast and outmaneuver. The mind that refuses to surrender commands the battlefield. Rivals may have firepower, talent, or resources, but you have steel in your spine, discipline in your hands, and patience in your eyes. The stronger mind always finds a way. The cost of neglecting ritual is chaos, wavering resolve, and vulnerability to the unpredictable storms of life. The reward of forging mental steel is clarity, decisiveness, and an unshakable presence in every arena. Train like the war never ends. Grind where others sleep, hammer where others hesitate. Strength is habitual, greatness is ritualized, and your mind is the sword that cuts through every challenge. Forge your mind. Strike with iron will. Men are driven more by fear than by love. To become untouchable, you must ascend beyond ordinary power and walk the world like a predator at the top of the food chain. The apex does not plead. It does not apologize. It does not stumble. Your mind, your presence, your actions must radiate control so absolute that hesitation in others becomes an obvious weakness. You are not merely a player in the game. You are the board itself. The aura of invincibility is your first weapon. Historical conquerors and strategists knew this truth. Alexander, Genghis, and Caesar projected calm decisiveness even in chaos, making opponents falter before a single move was made. Composure breeds respect, and respect becomes a shield. Your speech, your gaze, your calculated silence, every gesture signals dominance. Never reveal doubt, never hint at uncertainty. Let your mind be a fortress, your demeanor a wall that cannot be breached. Invisible defense is the second layer of untouchability. Strength that cannot be measured, cannot be attacked. Modern leaders in business and politics master this principle. They move decisively behind a veil of subtlety, leaving rivals blind to the true scope of their power. Conceal your full capabilities until the strike is unavoidable. Let perception work for you. Let your enemies waste energy probing an empty field while you control the real weapons unseen. Shield your plans, cloak your strategies, and cultivate a calm that unsettles even the boldest challengers. Finally, you must become the predator of your own destiny. Hypothetically, the apex hunter does not wait for opportunity, he creates it. You move without leaving tracks, strike without warning, and vanish without trace. Every decision is deliberate, every action calculated, every weakness in your environment noted and neutralized before it manifests. Life is a jungle, and the untouchable survives by mastering stealth, patience, and precision. Do not act recklessly. Let every move be a silent declaration of your supremacy. Failure to embody this apex mindset invites chaos, exploitation, and subordination. Success, however, grants you a presence that commands obedience, fear, and admiration without a single shout. Your mental fortitude, your discipline, your strategic invisibility becomes the invisible armor that none can penetrate. You are not just strong, you are untouchable. Be the predator. Fear is your weapon, invisibility your shield. Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. You stand now at the apex, where every lesson, every battle, every internal war converges into a single unstoppable force. This is the throne of shadows, a place where light and darkness dance, where power and wisdom are no longer separate, but fused into sovereignty. Here, you are no longer reactive. The world bends to your timing, your strategy, your will. Your mind becomes a throne, not of gold, but of iron discipline and sharpened intellect. Morning was your battlefield, and you struck at entropy before it could rise. You forged rituals as armor, mental rehearsals as preemptive strikes, and now your habits have become the citadel from which you command. Weakness has been identified and eliminated. Doubt has been disciplined into obedience. Your inner assassin lies coiled within, silent, ready to neutralize every self-sabotaging thought before it surfaces. Every instinct, every impulse, every internal tremor bends to your mastery. You have become the predator, unseen yet omnipresent. Observation is second nature. Patience, a weapon. You know when to strike, when to withdraw, when to let silence suffocate the reckless. Your enemies, both within and without, stumble blindly, mistaking your calm for hesitation, your restraint for weakness. And yet, you are merciless only to what threatens your throne. Compassion is a tool wielded strategically, not a weakness to dilute power. You command fear and respect in equal measure, shaping outcomes without unnecessary friction. Integration is no longer theory, it is reality. The principles you once practiced separately now act as a single symphony of supremacy. The mind as the throne directs the morning as a battlefield. The inner assassin coordinates with the mask of command. The iron will ritual steals every fiber of your being. Strength through struggle has sharpened your instincts. The chessboard of life is under your control, each move premeditated, each sacrifice calculated, each risk a step toward absolute dominion. You embody the predator, the king, the strategist, the untouchable apex. Pain has become ammunition, struggle, your forge, discipline, your armor, your aura radiates invincibility, yet the true power lies in invisibility, in the subtlety of threat that cannot be measured. You hunt without leaving tracks, dominate without exerting unnecessary force, and your enemies collapse long before they even understand the game being played. You are sovereign of both the visible and invisible worlds. Now visualize the final form. You rise, unshaken, a figure of shadow and command, the embodiment of every principle you have mastered. Every glance, every gesture, every decision resonates with authority. The world moves around you, reacting, never initiating, while you orchestrate outcomes from your throne of calm, darkness, and strategy. This is not power for show, it is power in perfect equilibrium, a mind sharpened like steel, a spirit unbreakable, a presence untouchable. The throne of shadows is no longer a metaphor, it is your reality. Every battle, internal and external, has led here. The predator, the strategist, the ruler, all merge into one unstoppable force. You are not simply surviving, you are sovereign, and the world is now your chessboard, your battlefield, your empire. Rule the shadows, command the world. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality, because they are guided by what they see and not by what they know. Every day is a battlefield, and every choice is a move on the warboard of your life. The war is constant, unseen by many, yet decisive in shaping the throne you claim. Each decision, no matter how small, either strengthens your dominion or chips away at your sovereignty. You rise in the morning, not to simply survive, but to command your morning routines. Your actions, your discipline become the instruments of your legacy. Understand this. Mastery is not an event. It is a ritual performed daily. Your mind, sharpened by struggle and trained by discipline, is the sword you wield against mediocrity. You must control yourself first. Your impulses, your doubts, your fears before the world can be influenced by your will. Every moment of hesitation is a foothold for chaos. Every lapse in focus, a crack in the fortress of your authority. Reinforce your habits, train your instincts, fortify your mind. Build your throne with every deliberate choice. Control yourself, or be controlled. Let this mantra sink into your bones, echoing with every heartbeat. It is not a suggestion, it is a command to the warrior within. Recognize that the path to power is rarely about benevolence. True influence does not come from fleeting kindness or popularity. It comes from calculated mastery, from the ability to act decisively where others falter, and to bend circumstances to your strategy. Your legacy is measured in precision, resilience, and the quiet, relentless accumulation of authority. Visualize the throne you are building, not for recognition, but for dominance that lasts beyond fleeting applause. Every challenge you face, every struggle you endure, every internal battle you conquer adds steel to your crown. Life rewards those who act with strategy, patience, and unflinching discipline. The world tests you constantly, not to break you, but to reveal whether you are ready to command your legacy. Stand now as the architect of your fate. Rise each day aware that every move matters, that your strength is forged in the fires of self-mastery and sharpened by experience. The war never ends, but victory is a habit, and sovereignty is earned in the small, relentless actions of a disciplined life. You are not here merely to exist. You are here to dominate, to endure, to leave a mark that cannot be erased by time or opposition. Control yourself or be controlled.